Wood Financial Group wants you to have the retirement of your dreams, and that means financial abundance. Knowing retirement can last for over 30 years, our team is focused on providing income-producing strategies so you can live comfortably and worry-free. Voted Middle Tennessee's best investment services company for many years, we will ensure you have abundant income throughout retirement, so you can spend more time doing the things you love with the people you love. Wood Financial Group, abundance for life. You know that dream where you have to take a test or give a speech and you realize you're not prepared? Well, that's how some people feel about their retirement plan once they hit their mid-50s. But it doesn't have to be a nightmare. I'm Wes Wood, the Income Guy, and today I'll tell you why. Hi, I'm Wes Wood, the Income Guy and founder and president of Wood Financial Group. And for nearly 20 years, I've specialized in helping hardworking Tennesseans just like you reach their retirement goals through income-based financial strategies. And if you're looking for the right solutions to achieve your own financial goals, I can help. Just reach out to me at retiretv.com or by calling 855-776-0614 during today's show or at any time. So I want you to imagine this. You're over 50 years old and you're starting to feel very ill prepared for retirement. You think you haven't saved enough or planned enough, and now it's too late. Does this at all sound familiar? If it does, don't worry, I've got good news. First, you're not alone. And second, it's not too late. So don't be despaired, be prepared. And I'll tell you how on today's show, titled Last Minute Strategies for Successful Retirement. I'm going to cover today the where and the how to start, ways to fast track your savings, the Social Security factor, and how a move might help you, and why investing for income is the key. And joining me again on this week's show is Dave Scranton. Dave is an investing for income specialist with over 30 years of experience, but he's also a best-selling author and television host. We're happy to have him. But before we get to Dave, let's look at why feeling unprepared for retirement is so common and the first thing you should do about it. So, preparing for retirement is supposed to be a process that spans your whole working life, and for some people it is and it has been. But for most people really haven't gotten serious about it until they hit their 40s or even later in life. And as a result, surveys about retirement planning usually contain a lot of troubling statistics. For example, in a 2019 survey conducted, it found that 3 out of 10 Americans over 55 years old have no retirement savings at all. And about 25% said that they've saved less than $50,000 overall. But even if you have a sizable savings, you might still feel underprepared for retirement. Because if you look at things like healthcare costs, taxes, inflation, and all the other challenges that increase as you age, you still may be thinking, I don't have enough. And if that sounds familiar, once again, you're not alone. Because another recent survey found that the number one fear among people over 60 years old was not death, but is actually running out of income before they pass away, which isn't surprising. Because as we know, nobody wants to be a burden. So the idea of being financially dependent on others in your 80s or 90s or even earlier is indeed a scary thought. But here's another interesting thing that survey told us. It reveals that on some level, most people realize that the key to avoiding scary fate is income. It's not the winning lottery ticket or having a particular lump sum in your retirement account. It's about having a sufficient income that you don't have to worry about outliving. But how can you achieve that, especially if retirement is less than 10 years away and you're still feeling unprepared? Well, the good news is that the first step in this process is kind of a fun step. And if you've watched my show before, you already know what this first step is, and that is identifying your individual retirement goals. Without goals, your retirement is just a vague concept rather than an objective, and it should be an objective. Because without goals, you not only decrease your chances of having a successful retirement, you increase your stress level. Because think about it. Stress comes mainly from two things: lack of control and the fear of the unknown. But once you've identified your goals, you've eliminated that unknown, and you can take control by making a plan to achieve those goals. And that's true even if you haven't saved enough, because there are some things that you can do to fast track your savings, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But right now, you can learn more by reading my timely report, The Fundamentals of Retirement Income. And it's free as a part of your retirement income kit. And you can get a kit by visiting retiretv.com or by calling us at 855-776-0614. But now, let's welcome David Scranton. He is the founder of Sound Income Strategies and the Retirement Income Store. David, thank you for joining me again today.
Of course, Wes. My pleasure as usual. You know, the scariest thing about this feeling of unpreparedness is that it can be emotionally crippling to some people, where they just freeze like the deer in the headlights. And that's obviously the worst possible outcome, right?
It is. It's just like with any unpreparedness and fear. A lot of people just duck their head in the sand and don't want to think about it. And avoiding this issue, retirement coming up, or even thinking about it, if you avoid it, it can create a whole world of problems. So that's why it's so important to take steps to get prepared for retirement. Because again, there are solutions, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show, about how you may be able to get caught up. But again, that first step, in my opinion, what I've seen with most clients that we work with, is you need to start setting some goals. Because once you have a foundation of goals, then you can take the steps to build that retirement plan. And it becomes clearer so they don't feel nearly as unprepared.
Yeah, it I find too, and maybe you can resonate with this, that a lot of people, when they start getting deeper in the process, they realize that they're not as unprepared as they initially thought.
That happens a lot of times. Is that a lot of times once we do an analysis for folks, people are actually a little bit surprised that they may be right where they need to be, or just barely behind, or even further ahead than where they should be, just by getting a clearer picture of where they stand. I think what happens is that a lot of people get caught up on this idea that they need a big lump sum of money in order to retire. They need to have $1 million, $2 million, whatever that number is in their mind. And if they're short of that, they're really scared. And if they're ahead of that, they may get complacent. And that complacency can create a whole nother world of problems.
And the good news too is, if you are behind, in many cases, there are things that allow you to get caught up relatively quickly on your savings.
That's right, and we're going to get to that more in just a minute, about how you can take some steps to really get caught up, get ahead, and achieve the goals. But the first step is to start by getting prepared. And Dave, thank you for talking to me here. We're going to talk to you more later in this show, but coming up, I'll talk about some of those ways that you can fast track your retirement savings, and how the Social Security factor is very important. I'm Wes Wood, the Income Guy, and you're watching the Retirement Income Show. Wood Financial Group wants you to have the retirement of your dreams, and that means financial abundance. Knowing retirement can last for over 30 years, our team is focused on providing income-producing strategies so you can live comfortably and worry-free. Voted Middle Tennessee's best investment services company for many years, we will ensure you have abundant income throughout retirement, so you can spend more time doing the things you love with the people you love. Wood Financial Group, abundance for life. Hi, I'm Wesley Wood, host of the Retirement Income Show, and I'm founder and president of Wood Financial Group. And we're a local independent financial services company that specializes in creating custom retirement solutions tailored to meet your particular needs.
Visit retiretv.com to learn how we can help you create a customized retirement portfolio.